For more or less 400 years, Valid-e-Sultan was one of the most important rank for a woman in the Ottoman Empire. This title was used for the legal mother of the reigning Ottoman Sultan. Valid-e-Sultan was the most important and powerful rank in the history of the Ottoman Empire, after the Sultan himself. This title was used for the living mother of the ruling Sultan, that not only gave her the great powers in the imperial harem, but also in the affairs of the empire. The Valid-e-Sultan was supposed to be the head of the imperial harem, and usually had her own chamber near to the Sultan's chamber. The mothers, who died before the accession of their sons to the throne, were never conferred with this prestigious title. In some special cases, this title was held by the sisters, grandmothers, and stepmothers of the ruling Sultan, such as Hurrem Sultan, who is famous for the strategic struggle for her son's succession, never became a Valid-e-Sultan. She died before her son, Selim II, became the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. However, Selim II conferred the title of Valid-e-Sultan to his older sister, Mehrema Sultan. This was the only incident in Ottoman history that a member of the Ottoman royal family held this rank. Though Hurrem Sultan never became Valid-e-Sultan, but she set the example for future Valid-e-Sultans, by not only her rule over the harem, but also her active participation in the internal and foreign affairs of the empire. In this video, you will get to know, what does Valid-e-Sultan mean? And who was the first Valid-e-Sultan in the Ottoman history? The Ottoman Turkish word valide comes from the Arabic word walida, which literally means mother. The word sultan is an Arabic word which indicates power or authority. For Ottoman predecessors before the 16th century, the word hatun was used for women and bey for men. Later, the word sultan was started to use for imperial members, both men and women of the Ottoman dynasty. The title Valide-Hatun was consequently changed into Valide-Sultan, to show the sovereign power of the Ottoman family. The first Valide-Sultan, who enjoyed the great powers of this title, was Hafsa Sultan. She was the consort of Sultan Selim I, and the mother of the Ottoman Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent. Though the Valide-Sultan title was listed as the mother of Sultan, but it was converted into a legally registered position in the empire under the reign of Sultan Murad III, who transformed it for the sake of his mother, Nur-Banu Sultan. Interestingly, the daily stipend a Valide-Sultan received was more than anyone else in the harem. Nur-Banu Sultan received a daily stipend of 2,000 aspas, while her successor, Safiye Sultan, received 3,000 aspas a day after the succession of her son, Mehmed III. In the history of the Ottoman Empire, the most powerful and famous of all Valide-Sultans were Mehrema Sultan, Nur-Banu Sultan, Safiye Sultan, Kosem Sultan, and Turan Sultan. They all were also important figures of the Sultanate of women. In the 17th century, the rank of chief imperial consorts lost the title of Sultan, and replaces it with Kadhan. The mother of the reigning sultan was then the only person of non-imperial blood to hold the title of sultan. The Valid-e-Sultan, consorts, and other retinues of the reigning sultan were only allowed to live in the imperial harem of Topkapı Palace. After the death of the sultan, his Valid-e-Sultan, consorts, daughters, and other households would have been sent to the old palace.